Hey guys, Sierra Bailey here with Accel Commercial Real Estate. The video you're watching ties into our event in June, Accelerate. If you want to learn more about what you see today, scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description to get your tickets now before early bird pricing runs out. Enjoy the video.
Well, I appreciate Jana and Accel Group and Brian. Thank you so much for letting me come on here today. I'm a senior vice president at Southwestern Investment Group. I'm a certified financial planner there, and I've been there 11 years now with Southwestern Investment Group. We're an independent RIA, so in the investment world, essentially we're a completely independent group, help folks with financial planning and wealth management. So I came to Nashville 12 years ago. My brother is in the country music world, and he went to Belmont and always was intrigued to get down this way. I actually, in college, I studied, I played college basketball, and I was a pre-med student, and I got advice early on that said maybe have a major you could fall back on, Zach. And I always bet on myself, but I was decided to be an economics major. And my senior year, I was gearing up took the MCAT and was thinking that med school was all I was going to do. And I was happy. One of the boosters for our basketball team was a wealth manager in Minneapolis, where I went to school. And I went to his office, and there was a lot of golf clubs, and it looked like he didn't work a whole lot. And I thought, well, that sounds really fun. And he asked me what my plans were after school, and I told him that I want to go to med school, I want to be a doctor. And he said, well, funny enough is I feel like what I do is kind of a doctor for folks with their wealth and kind of with their investments. And he said, because I talk, holistically about a plan, and I get to meet with folks every day, and I don't have to go to school for 13 years. And I said, well, let me talk to you about that, because that sounds a little fun. So long story short, kind of really dove in after, I had the background of economics and finance with my degree, but kind of dove into kind of what it would be to be a financial planner, what it looked like. And I was able to team up with Southwestern Investment Group. They were looking to kind of bring on some folks to kind of be a part of this, part of their company that was growing. And the individual, Bob Searcy, my partner that started the company, was looking for someone to succeed him over time, and we became an instant fit with each other. And so quickly, I got my certified financial planner designation, which is essentially our master's degree for what we do. And I've been helping folks for over a decade now, really just with a long-term plan and focusing on their investments, but incorporating kind of all areas of their wealth building and wealth accumulation, and trying to, like you guys, have the goal of help them leave a legacy and generations to come are set. So that's a little bit about me. And briefly, I've got my wife is an occupational therapist. We've got a little one, and we've got one in the oven that's due in a month. So we're getting busy. I think I need to help more people with planning, and I need to plan for myself. So
that's wonderful. Thank you so much. So talk to us about the difference in different kinds of wealth managers. I think for our audience here, there is an assumption that a financial advisor is the same thing as wealth manager, and a CFP, kind of give us a little bit of background as to what is the landscape in wealth management right now, because I know you're an independent broker, and I think that's one of the reasons why I highly recommend you. But I help our audience be a little bit more understanding about the different versions of that.
Yeah. It's a great question. I think because there's sometimes, the world financial advisor, it can maybe, cause some folks to turn the other way. It's interesting, and some of that is bad experiences. And oftentimes that comes from being, quote, sold something. Every time I talk with a new prospective, someone to work with us that's looking for our services, I talk about the fact that we start with a plan. And we might not even talk about investments with someone for 4 or 5 meetings before we even get there, because to us, in order to do what we do best, we need to help them develop a long-term plan and understand their goals, what they want to do, and how they want to get there. Because to us, it's not only about what the investments in the stock market, but all the other their portfolio as a whole, including real estate and business owners and all across the board, and how that fits into what they want to do long term. So the word certified financial planner is the big word, planning, as opposed to advising, because we do advise, but it's about the plan to us, and the investments are a big piece to that. That's a little more about what we, about kind of, and us being independent is huge too, because being independent, no one tells me what to do for our clients, how to do it, or what to sell. That I never think of myself as a salesman. I think of myself as a relationship manager. And if I don't have relationships with my clients, then I don't know the job.
So when being independent, correct me if I'm wrong, that means you're not quote unquote captured. Can you maybe explain what that means?
Yeah. So our group, about 6 years ago, we became an independent RIA, which we directly report to the SEC, and they audit us every year, and meaning that we take full fiduciary responsibility for anything that we do, and we're not backed to any sort of product company. So one area is on what we help clients with in terms of the stock market investments. There's not any specific product or thing that we sell. We have complete access to anything in the industry that you could possibly do. And then on the kind of the RIA side of things, we take on full fiduciary responsibility for the way that we help folks and give advice to them. And so we put our name on the line with that. We're not kind of, we don't kind of hide behind anything. The SEC comes in every year and takes a look at what we're doing and the advice we give, and critiques us and monitors us to make sure that we're giving the best advice and to be a fiduciary to our clients, which I know, Jenna, at the Accel group, you guys are as well, which is huge. That's why we love the relationship.
So talk about the evolution of in the most recent years, specifically of fee-based versus commission-based.
Yeah, that's great. So we, at the end of Obama's presidency, there was a rule that came into effect, and it was funny enough, it was a fiduciary rule, and essentially it shifted a focus where the Department of Labor essentially said that if you're a financial advisor and you're giving advice, that using commission-based products was not what they said they thought was right to do. Now you could still do them, but they created some more hoops to jump through. We at this point, we're essentially 100% fee-based in the way we do things. But the reason why fee-based is approach, and for those that aren't that familiar with the investment world, what fee-based versus commission meaning is that if the commission, if I were to sell a fund or an ETF or a product or buy a stock, historically we would say, okay, if I buy that stock, I get a commission on that sale. So essentially the way that I got paid was based on buying and selling them things. Well, to us, that wasn't being a fiduciary. It could be, but it didn't give us the best approach, because we would say, well, in order for us to get paid, we had to sell you something. The shift that we made, well before this rule, was to become a fee-only approach. We essentially said, we're going to charge a fee-based, a stated fee that we charge, and it's not based on assets or an agreed fee. And then in terms of what the investment approach we took, there was no commission and there was nothing charged on that. So we had the ability to get in and out of anything we needed to do, and it wasn't based on the fee. So, and the SEC's point of view and the Department of Labor, in our world, that's what makes us a fiduciary, because we feel like we're on the same side of the table as clients, trying to make sure that what their interests are first, and doesn't matter what we do. We don't get paid for something. We want to make sure that what they have is what's best for them.
Yeah, I think that's a really important distinction on the fiduciary responsibility. Essentially, that's a big word for we put our clients' interests first.
Yes.
In front of our own, even if it means we're going to make less money over time. And to us, it's all about the proper plan for them. And that's one of my favorite things about you, Zach, is that I know in the conversations you and I've had, and as I've watched you work, I think probably one of my favorite things, and I'm going to ask you to talk about this, and then I'm going to let you launch, okay, and talk
Great.
about the topic at hand. But could you talk about a little bit more about your niche that I think you have in dealing with widows and where and helping them understand what's going on with the plan? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think sometimes niches for many folks, they come with experiences and one that you maybe didn't, and you weren't expecting. And so it's been interesting over the last 6 or 7 years, and we've become a place of where folks and a group, individually, where we've been referred to a lot of folks that, are going through loss, especially widows, and in a lot of cases, times where one of the spouse maybe was not as much financially oriented and kind of is left with, a very large portfolio or life insurance or buildings or something. And the scary part to them is what happens right away is they get hounded and sold. And we've developed a process to really just walk alongside these folks in a really, really traumatic time, and to help them, first of all, educate them to learn about, hey, what's going on? Even as simple as, hey, let's figure out how to log into a bank account and what that looks like, or let's figure out, what a mutual fund is, or what income looks like for you. And but that's been a really big niche for us, and us being kind of putting their needs first, being that fiduciary, that has really, really come full circle there, because they see that right away, and we're not trying to sell them. I know I had a referral last year that a lady, I was the 11th financial planner that they met with, and she said, first thing she said to me is, what are you going to do with this money? And I said, well, I don't know. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how you're doing, talk about, where you're at and how we can help you get to where you go, because you seem really scared right now. And we had 4 meetings before we even talked through the next step, but a lot of it was figuring out a plan. And as a result, she became a great client. But we're not trying to sell her anything. We're trying to help her develop a plan, and it doesn't always involve investments, so that it could be a different area for her, whether it be real estate or commercial real estate, and just trying to figure that out. So that's been full circle how that's really worked. But it's been a nice little niche for us that we feel like we really make a difference in folks' lives, especially for those that maybe it could be taken advantage of for someone trying to sell them on fear.
Well, and I know part of the reason why you are willing to be here tonight and share your knowledge with us is because you do believe in educating your clients and taking the time to be able to do that. And obviously that's something that we with Accel Group, that is what we do as well.
Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, be sure to follow our Generational Wealth Learning series. On select Thursdays, we offer cutting-edge industry information that would normally cost thousands of dollars. And the best part, our education is absolutely free. If you register through our events page, you can join us live, either in person or over Zoom. In the meantime, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a beat.